Hey guys, Mary, and welcome back to Study Journey. Welcome back to the Python series. This is the first episode of Game 5, which is the News Monitor game. And in today's episode, we're going to be starting on our code and doing the first problem. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is download the material that we need. So I'm going to go to Google and search up MIT 6.001 problem set. And then we go to their website and we are now on problem set 5. So I'm going to click on it and download the file. So now that we have it, it's in our download folder. So I'm going to first rename this to problem set 5 YouTube because I already did it once. So I'm going to move this to CS practice and I'm going to add it in here. So PS5 YouTube, and in here we have all the materials we need. So I'm going to open up the instructions. And let's see what it says. So it says that you will need object-oriented programming, classes, and inheritance to build a program to monitor news feeds over the internet. Your program will filter the news, alerting the user when it notices a news story that matches the user's interests. For example, the user may be interested in a notification whenever a story related to the Red Sox is posted. And this problem does not require many lines of code, so we recommend that the solutions that you write for each problem stay under 15 to 20 lines. And to get started, we already downloaded all the things we need right here. So it says that RSS feed filter. So news sites such as Google News have content that is updated on an unpredictable schedule. One tedious way to keep track of this changing content is to load the website up in your browser and periodically hit the refresh button. Fortunately, this process can be streamlined and automated by connecting the website's RSS feed using the RSS feed reader instead of a web browser. RSS stands for really simple syndication, and an RSS feed consists of periodically changing data stored in an XML formatted file residing on a web server. For this problem set, the details are unimportant, and you don't have to know what XML is, nor do you need to know how to access these files over the network. We have already taken care of retrieving and parsing the XML file for you. So basically, it says that RSS feed structure, this has already been done for us, and let's talk about one specific form of RSS feed, so Google News. If we open Google Chrome, like if we open this, we can see that this XML file does not appear to have any style formatted associated with this. So this is basically what it looks like when we open this. But if you try to load this in your web browsers, you'll probably see your browser's interpretation of an XML code generated by the feed. Abstractly, whenever you connect to the Google News or RSS feed, you receive a list of items. Each entry in this list represents a single news item. In a Google News feed, each entry has one of the following: GID, which is a globally unique identifier for this news story, title, description, link, pub date, publishing date, and category. So generalizing the problem, this is a little trickier than we'd like it to be because each of these RSS feeds is structured a bit differently from the others. So our goal is to come up with a unified standard representation that we'll use to store a news story. We want to do this because we want an application that aggregates several RSS feeds from various sources and act on all of them in the exact same way. We should be able to read news stories from various RSS feeds all in one place. So the first problem, parsing all this information from the feed is no small feat. So let's tackle an easy part of the problem first. So first, pretend that someone has already done the specific parsing and has left you with variables that contain the following information for a news story. So the GID, title, description, link to more content, and pub date. So it says what is parsing, right? Parsing is the process of turning data stream into a structured format that is more convenient to work with. And it says that we have provided you with code that will retrieve and parse the Google and Yahoo news feeds. So what we actually have to do is written right here. We want to store this information in an object that we can then pass around in the rest of our program. Your task in this problem is to write a class, NewsStory, starting with a constructor that takes GID, title, description, link, pub date as arguments and stores them appropriately. NewsStory also needs to contain the following methods. And the solution to this problem should be relatively short and very straightforward. So once you have implemented NewsStory, all the NewsStory test cases should work. If we look into our folder, we can see that not only is there ps5.py, there's also the ps5test.py. So this, if we open it, is going to store all of the test cases. And when we run this file, it should test our ps5 for us. So now I'm going to open ps5 and put this with the instructions side by side. Okay, so it has already defined the process for us, and the first problem is to make the NewsStory class. So how we write a class like the one after it, we write first class and then the name of the class. So the name of the class is going to be NewsStory. And within this class, it says that starting with a constructor that takes GID, title, description, link, and pub date as arguments. So a constructor we have to define, or we have to initiate. So define init or initiate, and it says take in these as arguments. So for initiate, we have to put in self as first, and then put in the rest of the arguments. Okay, now that we have this, we have to store them appropriately. So it's going to be self dot whatever this is equal to that. And this is just the basics for what a class is. So for most classes, this is what we have to do. So for each of the parameters that we define, we're going to do the same. So self.description, okay, now that we have this, it states that the NewsStory also needs to contain the following methods. So what a method is, it's just you define whatever it is. So for example, the first one, it would be get GID. And then we define it by returning self.get. And then we do this with the rest. So define get title, taking self as the parameter, and then we're going to return self.title. And then we're going to do the same with the rest. Okay, now let's save this and run this in the terminal, because as we can see, it says after we write all of this, use all the NewsStory test cases should work. So I'm going to open my terminal, and this is in CS Practice, and it's also in the folder PS5 YouTube. And then we're going to open the test case. So when we're going into PS5, we're going to actually run the test case, PS5 test.py. And as we can see, if we scroll up, all the test cases for NewsStory now work. And so for the next one we need to do is test one title trigger. And we're going to be doing that in the next episode.